all right, I'm going to go watch the Browns game or the Indians game. Where are you going to spend your money? And I think at this point, with a light schedule down the road, Houston is here next week. If the Indians don't make the playoffs, they really don't deserve to be in the playoffs, but Houston is here next weekend. Okay, I see what they've got this week, but this Indians team should make the playoffs. And if you're a Browns fan, I'm not trying to compete and pit the two teams against each other, but this is going to be an interesting week.
I'm trying to figure out how to say this and put it politely. As a Browns fan, when I try to make the correlation between the Browns and the Indians, your wife of 40 years has been cheating on you and you just found out, while the girlfriend that you should have married 20 years ago is a successful CEO and makes millions of dollars. The girl was completely in love with you and you ditched her for the wife of 40 years who's now cheating on you. That's the Browns. That's the Indians. Because you're looking right now at the Indians and you're going, damn, I should have married her. Meaning, damn, I should have stayed on that bandwagon. Yes, this is a Browns town. I'm a football fan. It's my favorite sport, but I cannot ignore what's going on over there either. So that's kind of my correlation. Wife of 40 years that you were sketchy on, but you're completely committed to her, cheating on you. Has been for years. Girlfriend who maybe was okay hot, but not as hot as the wife you married, but was completely loyal to you, is now the CEO of a Fortune 500. The Indians, ladies and gentlemen, and you should have stayed on it. You didn't. Boom. How does that? Is that close enough?
I guess so. I don't know about the whole cheating part and the whole thing, but I guess at some point you've got a better perspective on this than I do. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
No, I'm just teasing you.
Hello,
Look,
Dr. Phil.
Yes,
6.
I've got
issues. The only
issues.
phone working right now.
I've got issues with what's going on. Look, I look at the situation here, and I just know that Indians fans this week, like last night, I said, I put on Twitter, I said, here we go. We've got a situation with the Indians now that if they win tonight, they're back in the playoffs. Do you want to talk about the Indians tomorrow, meaning today? Do you want to talk tribe, or do you want to talk about what's going on with the Browns? And what do you think they said? Indians fans came out full force. What did I get on the other side? You with me on this?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Oh, well, now you want to come back on the Indians bandwagon? You want to be back on the bandwagon with the Indians? There is no bandwagon. It's all about Cleveland, and that's what the situation is. If this ballpark isn't packed next week, they're selling $10 tickets. Do they deserve a crowd to be down there?
Absolutely. I mean, they sold $12 walk-ups the last 2 games of the White Sox series. And I went to one of those games. I mean, I took my daughter and her friends to one of those games. Why would you not? If the closest thing you're going to get to a postseason feeling is right now. And if you want that feeling, and I'm as big a Cleveland fan as the rest of you, and I love the Browns, but I also love what the Indians are doing, and I love the feeling of a winner. We all do. You want to feel good, Andy? That's your medicine. That's your syrup. That's your cough medicine right there. That's your antibiotic, the Indians. Go buy a ticket, go to the game. Get on the bandwagon full force. If you're going to get a broken heart, at least get a broken heart because you're all in. Right?
Right. No, you're right.
Don't get a broken heart and stand on the sideline and point at you and going, oh, I've been standoffish, but now they're doing well, so now I'm going to make fun of Andy because he's always been on the bandwagon, and I've been sitting back here and I've been checking in, checking out. So if you're going to have a broken heart, go all in. Make sure you lead with the heart.
They're looking at hosting a wild card game.
Hosting. We're not talking a one game. We're talking about the top spot because Tampa Bay and Texas play each other. And the Indians, with a win tonight, will be tied for the wild card spot. That's all you need to know. A win tonight in Kansas City, they are tied for a wild card.
All right, we've got about 4 minutes left, so we appreciate everybody that's been watching today and been listening along.
It's been rough for us.
It has been.
We're ranting. It's been rough. It's been a rough show. We've had some.
What are you flagging for?
He's even saying it's been a rough show.
Sit down, man. We can't even see you. We're looking at your belly.
Looking at your skinny torso.
Are you throwing Are you throwing a flag on us for talking Indians, or are you just throwing a flag? He threw a flag on himself. Okay. Mute Eric says he can't say anything because he doesn't have a mic. Maybe we'll buy him a microphone next week. We'll get into that as well. We've got about 3 minutes or 4 minutes left in the show. What do the Browns need to do now next week as they head into Minnesota? I think they just need to they need to refocus. And I think it needs to start with who's going to be the quarterback. I don't think it's worth playing any games this week either. Just let us know who the quarterback's going to be. Just let it. If Brandon Weeden can't go, and we know Brandon Weeden can't go right now, just let it go. Just tell us who the quarterback is and move forward.
You've got to do something because you're going on the road, one of the toughest places to play. I've been in the Metrodome. I've been in those Minnesota games. They're ridiculously loud. Probably the loudest place in the NFL. You got Adrian Peterson coming off just a monster year. So you're going to have to stop the run. Again, that's probably the upside of the game against the Vikings. Vikings come in looking for their first win. Things set up perfect because, to tell you the truth, Christian Ponder's not a very good quarterback. He's not. They're not going to score a lot of points. Defensively, the Browns are going to be in the football game just because they're going to be able to keep the Minnesota Vikings offense in check. The problem is, as you mentioned, what happens on the Browns side of the football? Who's your quarterback? What changes are they going to make to the offense? How big of a factor is Josh Gordon going to be in the offense as they move forward against Minnesota?
How big of a factor do you think he's going to be?
I think he's going to be a big factor. I think he's got to be a big factor, even if he's a target that takes the double coverage away so you can go to Devon Bess or Greg Little, or maybe Josh Cooper comes in or you use Jordan Cameron more, because you can't double up everybody. But now I think the biggest factor is you're going to be able to take shots vertically. And I think shots vertically means running game opens up. I think everything underneath opens up. I don't maybe think they can play press man coverage as much. So I think some things change on that factor. Do they take advantage of it? We'll see.
Well, and we talked about some of the positive the Browns had. I mean, yes, you have Adrian Peterson next week, but you've been able to stop the run the first 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you can get all fired up about the offense, but the defensive front seven, again, has been able to stop the run. Ray Rice went out early yesterday, but you still were able to contain him and figure out how to stop the run. So I find that to be one of the positives heading into next week. But someone's got to just shake things up this week. Someone's got to say, enough is enough. I know we're hurt. I know we've got this. If you can't do your job, we're going to find someone that's going to do it for you, and that's where the Browns need to be. If Jimmy Haslam, would you be surprised if we hear from Jimmy Haslam this week?
No, I think I wouldn't be surprised. No, but on the other hand, what's he going to say? What can he say? I mean, the company line is going to be towed by Chud and everybody else. So to have the owner come in and say something, I don't think he's going to Jerry Jones this. Jerry Jones would be all over this.
Yeah, no, he would.
Right?
There's no question.
You're right. So,
well, he's not the only one. I mean, I wonder that, the other thing about Jimmy Haslam is if he doesn't have the other situation going on with Pilot Flying J, what we would be hearing from Jimmy Haslam right now.
Well, I don't know. That's probably a good question too, Andy. I don't know how much he could say or what he could say to make me feel better as a Browns fan, to be honest with you. The only guy that could make me feel better about where I'm at right now is the head coach. If Chud came out and threw something and sat down and maybe even dropped an F-bomb or something, he was totally out of character this morning, I would realize that it hurts him, and I'm sure it does. He's the head coach. He's 0-2. He's still looking for his first win with the team that he grew up rooting for. It would just make me think, wow, there's a pulse. There's a heartbeat there, and that would make me feel a little bit better at being where we are right now.
All right, as we get set to wrap this up, the one thing I really want to see next week is what the defense tried to lay down in the beginning of the game. And whether Phil Taylor got spit in the face or not to start the game, I love the attitude the Browns had, and that's what I want to see more of. So, all right, this has been Dogs on the Run. We'll catch you again next Monday, and we'll talk a little bit about Minnesota. And thank you for participating. We were hearing you. We got you on Twitter. We took care of business as well. Have a great day, everybody, and be one of those dogs on the run.